woman I lost my virginity to. When I was 19 years old, I held on to her neck. In that moment, I heard God's voice say, I'm everywhere. That really happened.
Why are you so aggressive? Huh?
I didn't understand masculinity in full, you know. What I know masculinity to be now is stability.
Labeouf, Shia Labeouf, in my car. Look at Shia Labeouf.
What's up, everybody? My name is Naja, aka the Voodoo Child, and today I'm about to rant about Mr. Labeouf. And no, I'm not about to talk about Olivia Wilde. I'm not about to talk about rich people bickering BS. Like, I could really care less about Olivia Wilde and Shia's beef because it's stupid. But I do want to rant about Shia because I just found out some very shocking information, and that is that this man lied about his pretty much memoir, autobiography of a movie. Like, he lied about being abused. Like, he lied about a lot of things throughout his career. And the more that I just kept chipping at it, it just got me mad. So I just got to come on here and talk to y'all because I used to like Shia. Like, I used to be a Shia fan. So that's why I'm going to start this off. I'm not a freaking hater. I used to actually like Shia and support Shia. I was a Disney Channel kid as well as a Nickelodeon kid and a Cartoon Network kid. I did not discriminate. I loved Even Stevens. I loved watching Holes. I loved him in Transformers, Disturbia. I loved Surf's Up. Like, he did some voiceovers in some anime. I really do like Shia. He was pretty prevalent in my coming of age. Like, I like Shia. So please don't think I'm hating. But this man is a liar. He is a freaking compulsive liar. He's an abuser. And he's trying to come back on the internet and have an Andrew Tate era. Like, it's so weird. So I'm just going to start from the beginning so y'all can understand my disdain and annoyance with Shia and why I cannot wait for April 2023 to see his ass in freaking court with my girl Twigs, because Shia did not do it for you, Buff. Got me messed up. He got me messed up. He got me over here crying watching your movie, and that ain't even freaking happen to you. So let's reel it back. Let's reel it on back, because when I tell y'all I used to like Shia Labeouf, I used to like Shia Labeouf. So in the, I'll call this the child actor era. In the child actor era, Shia Labeouf was very much Disney, okay? Very much not talking about his personal life in the public. It's just what you see is what you get. Is Disney, bro. Then 2014 happens. 2014 is like the beginning of the lies, right? It's the beginning of the lies, but it's also the beginning of him actually like showing his actual personality and people starting to accept him as an artist rather than a child actor. So if you are an internet OG, or if you are a 2010s Tumblr girl or a guy or they or them, you remember this iconic look that Shia was sporting. It was all over the timeline, like everywhere. I am not famous anymore. Now look, looking back, I remember the attitude we all had was, oh man, this is sad. Yet again, another child actor going through this phase of, you know, this awkward phase of rejection. And we once loved them and, like, you know, all this stuff. But now looking back with an adult set of eyes, Shia, you were eating. Like, you were eating. You had multiple Transformers contracts. Like, you had movies out the ass, and these were adult roles. You had multiple roles where, like, you were being intimate with women and stuff. Like, that's not no childish shit. Like, that's stuff that child actors be having to fight for because nobody wants to see the person who they grew up, you know, their childhood little sister that they grew up with doing stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or childhood little brother, whatever. He actually accomplished that. So that was interesting looking back. It's like, okay, Mr. I'm not famous anymore. But this act is what catapulted him to a different type of internet limelight. Like, this is what made him him. So I like to call this era the stunt queen era. So when he realized, okay, the kids like me, the teens like me, the younger millennials and Gen Zs, the older Gen Zs, they like me, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to drag this stunt on. He wants to do a interactive art piece with the bag on his head, basically him crying and like apologizing for stealing that moment from the other people whose moment that really was supposed to be, because that was not supposed to be Shia's moment.
He abruptly walked out of a press conference, then showed up to a movie premiere less than an hour later with a paper bag over his head.
And he did break the internet. He made that his moment.
Wow. Okay, it's you. Hi, Shia. I wasn't even sure. Maybe you hired a guy, just a Craigslist guy or something. So this is weird. What are we doing here?
Again, looking back with a grown pair of eyes, I'm gonna finish the story. Out of nowhere, there's this rumor going around that somebody SA'd Shia at the interaction. Here's my thing. The performance that Shia was doing is traditionally done by femmes, women or femme-presenting people, and they'll usually go into the street, and the point of the experiment is to just show how willing the average person is to disrespect a femme body or a woman's body. And it's usually done to bring awareness for SA, right? So I was just like, not you coming online with this damn narrative that you done got essayed at the interactive art space, when that is a lot of people's realities, doing that type of exhibition.
I'm editing right now, and I'm actually writing the script for my other video, and I just found some more information, so I just want to explain this a little bit. There has been a lot of like hearsay on whether Shia even actually got essayed, and like I'm not even really gonna get into that. Like, I don't feel comfortable trying to decipher whether or not somebody actually got essayed or not. And then I feel like you gotta look at who is saying that, because at this time, freaking Piers Morgan, freaking Piers, I wish Meghan Markle would sit on my forehead, Morgan. Basically was just like, you a grown ass man, that did not happen to you. And like I just don't like that rhetoric, like you was a grown ass man, that didn't happen to you. However, again, I'm not in the business of deciding if that was there, because I wasn't there. You weren't there. But what I will say was that there was a lot of people there. And with Twitter being at the height in the 2010s, I'm just really surprised that there's no footage at all of this. Phones were allowed in there. There's multiple footage of the exhibition itself, but there is no footage of this SA. According to him, there were people who were in the crowd talking about it. I didn't see no tweets about it. The only tweets I did see about it was of the person who Shia's partnered with, was basically like, no, I was there and I had to split it up, and we didn't want to give anyone the green light to touch him and all that stuff, right? And that was pretty much it. He never talks about it again. Not saying that, you have to constantly talk about it, but I don't know. I'm side-eyeing it a little bit, but again, I was not there. I was not there. You were not there. But what I will say that made me feel some type of way, and why I even wanted to interject and say this, is because in his Days interview where he came out with the assault in the first place, the interviewer compared him to Marina Abramovic, the artist that I showed you guys a picture of earlier, who pretty much did this first, but it had a completely different meaning. And she said she was ready to die. Like, and it was really traumatic. If you guys have never seen that performance, it's like really traumatic. And if anybody's ever been a victim of, essay and stuff, it's pretty traumatic. Like, it makes you feel like you want to die. And Shia's response was, I half agree with her. I had to learn to basically see the good and the bad, and you just got to be ready to die. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know. It was just giving, I don't want to say it. I don't know. I'm going to just shut the hell up. But what I won't do is die on a freaking hill with Piers Morgan. But I'm also not just going to, ignore the weirdness, but what happened to these people? Did they ever get held accounted for? Did they ever get arrested? Like, I don't know. So you just got this couple running around LA. Like, dude, I don't know, y'all.
Don't think I'm trying to minimize shit, because just wait. Just wait. There's a reason I'm bringing all this stuff up. So boom. That was stunt number 2, right? Now we're doing like daily stunts. Now we're doing daily stunts. Shia, out of nowhere, overnight, became like the godfather of hobo chic. Everybody was taking pictures of what Shia had on. Everybody was just so infatuated with the counter fashion, the anti-celebrity fashion. Because at this point, the whole I'm not famous anymore, he was trying to drive it home like nobody's business. That's when he was like, okay, people really like this performative asshole bad boy type thing that I got going on now. Like, they are accepting me for this. At this time, I'm not gonna get too into his drug use and stuff like that, or his alcoholism, but I'm pretty sure at this time he was having problems with it, because he was cutting up in public on some drunk shit.
And I go outside to have a cigarette, and there's this homeless man out there, and I'm same thing I'm working on here is this homeless Marine. And I start talking to him, we start getting into a conversation. And then a woman runs up and starts taking pictures of me with her cell phone, and it trips him out. And I'm 3 sheets to the wind, and I can't really calm him down. He starts running down the road after like 30 minutes of conversation. So I start running after him. And I'm trying to calm this homeless man down in the middle of Times Square. And he don't want nothing to do with me, but I'm not giving up. So I chase him for a while. I'm trying to calm down. Hey, it's me, we were just talking, relax. And he's gone. So I turn around and start walking back to the bar to pay my bill. I'm walking towards the thing, and it's starting now. The drunk is really starting to kick in. I'm really good and drunk at this point. I make it into the theater, and get into the theater, and it's set up in an old club. I'm walking to my seat, and on the way to the seat, I see that there's this bar over here, and I go, oh, yeah, sure, I'll have another drink, because I need one. So I get another double whiskey, and I sit at my seat, and there's these 2 beautiful 50-year-old women, and I say, oh, yeah, well, tonight's the night, ladies. What's it gonna be? What do you want to drink? So I turn around, I go back to the bar, and I get 2 more double whiskeys. And while I'm at the bar, there's a fruit plate. And I'm like, well, this is a really nice thing to just be offering fruit like this. So I start taking fruit off the fruit plate, and I'm feeding this other woman who looks about 50, 60 or so. So now I'm feeding this woman strawberries, and I forget I'm even in the show anymore. And after that finishes, I walk back to my seat with these drinks. And I put the drinks down, and they don't want nothing to do with it. And I say, well, all right, well, you're not going to have them, so I'll have them.
These women were inside the theater, where reps say the actor, best known for his role in the Transformers, refused to stop smoking and was reportedly yelling, disrupting the show.
Then we saw him in the theater, getting a drink at the bar, with a torn shirt and stumbling. And then he fed a strawberry to a woman from her plate.
Prosecutors say the antics only continued once the star was in police custody. Labeouf allegedly telling officers, do you know who I am?
For whatever reason, train wrecks on some Jordan Peele Nope shit, people love a good spectacle. People couldn't look away. He was even doing the whole, dude, just do it, that shit. He was becoming memes. Like, the internet was just embracing Shia's foolery. Just embracing his foolery all together. He even got that role that in the Sia Elastic Heart music video, because now he's just this mysterious artist all of a sudden, right? Like this stunt queen, really.
Not to like jump around on the timeline too much, but I just wanted to add this in that Sia actually does not mess with Shia either. When the lawsuit came out that we're going to talk about later with Twigs, she came out and said that this man done finesse her into some biscuit, like giving it up when he was still married to Mia Goth. Like that's just crazy. Shia got some demons, but yeah, as of today, Sia does not mess with him either.
Mind you, also during this stunt queen era, I forgot about other things he lied about. He did lie about this too. He would make like little comics or like little short stories and stuff like that at this time as well. He was kind of just going like gung-ho all into his artistic stuff because he's like, okay, the world is watching. Child, why is he plagiarizing? Why is he plagiarizing like really well-known works? Like, people are like, bro, what do you do? And then even comes out flat out and was like, oh yeah, bro, I did steal that, but like, I'm such a big fan, I just didn't notice, my bad. And the dude he stole from is like, have you lost your damn mind?
Copying isn't particularly creative work, the actor tweeted. Being inspired by someone else's idea to produce something new and different is creative work. In my excitement and naivete as an amateur filmmaker, I got lost in the creative process and neglected to follow proper accreditation. I apologise to all who assumed I wrote it. I want Daniel Close to know that I have great respect for his work. I f***ed up. However, Close longtime editor Eric Reynolds responded on BuzzFeed earlier today, claiming that Close is now pursuing legal options against Labeouf. Labeouf's apology is a non-apology, absolving himself of the fact that he actively misled at best and lied at worst about the genesis of the film, wrote Reynolds. Fame clearly breeds a false sense of security.
Like, what'd you think I was gonna do? Hey, thanks, buddy, for admitting that. Like, weird. I almost forgot about those lies because that happened around the same time too. He was trying to be a little writer and stuff. Before he started writing the screenplays, he was releasing work because he was getting so much attention, and it was all stolen. And people were like, sir, and it's not just one, like there's multiple. I'll put it on the screen because I just found out about this recently because I'm actually about to go do another video, like a deep dive on the movie Honey on my other channel. But yeah, that was just really interesting. We're gonna move from the stunt queen era. I know I touched on the alcoholism a little bit earlier, but now we're gonna go right into like the sad, like the get well soon era. Let's call that, because there was a point where the internet was slowly splitting and they're like, okay, dude, you need help. Like, it's getting bad.
Why are you so aggressive? Huh?
Labeouf. Shia Labeouf. In my car. Look at Shia Labeouf touching my stuff in my car. Okay, Shia?
Roger, and I'm sorry about that. I got no control over that. I'm just trying to make peace, you know what I mean?
I think also everyone's drunken and
yeah, everyone's
things
I've
are
had
said.
my fair few
Yes. So like you said that like things got misconstrued for things that weren't actually real.
It's alcoholic lemonade.
Shia Labeouf has checked into rehab, now this according to X17 Online, charged with harassment, disorderly conduct, and criminal trespass. Now the actor is reportedly looking for help for his issues.
And I feel like the nail in the coffin was that video that leaked of him drunk yelling racial slurs at the police officer. Like, it was like, all right, bruh, like, I can't help you at this point. Like, you doing the most. You need to go get dry, because this is bad.
Hey, you going to hell straight to hell, bro. That's not very nice to say. No, it ain't, but it's real. You respect me, Dabney. That's sad. Why was it Dabney? Because he's a black man. That don't mean he's going to hell. It means a whole lot, bro.
He says that he wasn't trying to condemn the guy for being black. He was trying to make a whole different point, and he wasn't able to do that because obviously he was trashed out of his mind.
And honestly, I didn't even know about that until recently. Like, I probably wouldn't even have watched Honey if I would have known that he did that. Like, I'm gonna be so real with y'all. This is when he supposedly was going to treatment and stuff. Like, this is when it kind of gets dark online for a little bit, and then we get, I think Honey came out in 2019, so that's what he was working on. He had broken up with his longtime girlfriend, the one who he actually has the baby with right now, like her. He had broken up with her around this period. She was like, I can't.
I don't want to touch you. I don't want to be aggressive. This is the kind of that makes a person abusive. I just want my bag. Give his bag. Can I have my bag? Can I have my bag, please? No, I just want my bag. I just want my bag. Give his bag. I want his bag. I gotta get out of here, bro. I gotta get out of here, bro. Yo, if I'd have stayed there, I would have killed her.
Shia continues talking in the car with locals and at one point seemingly tries to FaceTime actress Megan Fox.
Oh, damn, man.
He got with Twigs around the time when he started Honey Boy, and he had her star as the role of, and I am sorry if you have not seen Honey Boy yet, it's been 4 years. I mean, it's on Amazon Prime right now. Go watch it if you haven't. Spoiler, I guess. He cast Twigs as the role of his essayer, essentially, his groomer. So for those of you guys that don't really care to watch Honey Boy because it's a bunch of freaking lies anyway, apparently, according to Shia. We're gonna get into that though. Honey Boy is basically supposed to be Shia Labeouf's coming of age, showing how he used to struggle living in hotels with his alcoholic veteran father who had, this is what he wrote. I don't know if this is true or not, but if this is not true, this is messed up. He said that his father was a vet who was an alcoholic, who used to be a clown, and then he got charged with being an S offender. Okay? So that's why they have to live in these hotels and all this stuff, right? Said the dad beats on him. He said the dad put a gun to his head. All this stuff. He also said he met a girl, a black girl in the hotel area who was hooking, and that he had his first time with an adult woman. Like, he's saying all of this stuff, right? And you're watching this, and I know I'm not the only one. You're watching this and you're just feeling so bad for Shia, and like everything is starting to make sense, you know, like why he was drinking and lashing out and like doing all this crazy stuff. And you know, it's like he had so much hurt and pain, and this is who he was raised by. And you know, he wasn't a nepotism baby. He actually had to struggle to get on in Hollywood type stuff. Like, this is the type of feelings that you're getting from Shia. And to make it go a step further, his manipulative ass, because he wrote this script in treatment, right? This script moved Twigs to the point where she empathized with him in the utmost sense of the way anybody can. And they became an item, and this man abused her. This man did so much stuff to her, allegedly, because it is ongoing, and it's going to be in court in 2023 of April. But she said that he used to do very, very vile things to her, and the only way that she was going to keep this under the rug is if he sought treatment. And he didn't seek treatment, which makes me think that that whole time you were just still in your swimming era. You weren't in your get well soon. I feel like you were just getting by. And he admits later on in his Andrew Tate era that we're about to get into that, yeah, he was just getting by. And every time it was like there was always a little crack he could slither through, right?
I want to thank the police officer who arrested me in Georgia for changing my life. I want to thank my therapist and my sponsor for saving my life. I want to thank my Honey Boy team for documenting and exhibiting my life. I want to thank my team for being a part of my life.
So Twigs leaves him. Now this abuse is all over the place, but still, because Honey had come out, there are a bunch of sympathizers for Shia who basically is saying to Twigs, like, okay, but you gotta understand he's messed up because this happened to him, and like this, you know, like all of this stuff that he said happened to him. And she even said, like, no, like, I know, that's why I even didn't want to say shit. Why does Shia get back into a relationship with the bitch he was with before he was with Twigs, has a baby, and says the baby becoming a father made him realize that he was dead ass wrong for lying on his own father, and that his father was depicted inaccurately in the movie, and that he purposely made him sign a version of the script that withheld the abuse.
And then I feel peace, but also like I get all these like incredible, like with my dad, I want to hit my dad up. Now here's a man who I done vilified on a grand scale. I put all this shit in the street, you know, and used him, juiced my dad as like, this is the reason I'm fucking foul out here. You know, I'm come from this wayward upbringing, and, you know, my dad is the reason I'm such a fuck up. You know, he's a biker and a wild man and a criminal and a da-da-da and abusive and I wrote this narrative, which was just fucking nonsense. My dad was so loving to me my whole life. Fractured, sure. Crooked, sure. Like, wonky for sure. But never was not loving. Never was not there. He was always there. He was always there. And I done a world press tour about how fucked he was as a man. Honey Boy is basically like a big woe is me story about how fucked my father is. And I wronged him. And remember getting on the phone with him and him being like, you know, I never read this stuff in the script you sent, you know, because I didn't put that shit in there, you know.
And it makes me wonder how your dad felt about you playing him. Did you tell him beforehand?
My dad's a pretty off-color character. He wasn't like too enthused about me playing him, you know. I don't know how you are with your dad or how you guys are with your dad, but my dad wasn't trying to have me play him, so I lied to him and told him that Mel Gibson would be playing him. And my dad was like, Mel Gibson. All right. Okay, all right. I didn't sign the paperwork. And then I got home and I broke it to him. I sent them pictures. I said, listen, man, it's not like that. Yeah. True story.
And I was bullshitting him. I was, you know, just trying to get him to sign his fucking piece of paper. He thought I was going to tell the story like Braveheart, you know. I was going to, and I didn't, you know. I told the story like this dude who, and I turned the knob up on certain shit that wasn't real. My dad never hit me. Never. He spanked me once, one time. And the story that gets painted in Honey Boy is like this dude was like abusing his kid all the time. You know, my dad tried to keep me from smoking cigarettes. That's when he spanked me. He found me smoking cigarettes in the shower. He pulled me out. He spanked me. That's when he spanked me. But that wasn't my narrative because it didn't position me as like this wounded, fractured child that you could root for, which is what I was using him for. And so when I got on the phone with him, I took accountability for all that and knew very clearly that I couldn't take it back. You know, my dad was going to live with this certain narrative about him on a public scale for a very long time, you know, probably the rest of his life. And I done put all this shit in the street, you know. The shit that my dad got arrested for happened like 30 years ago, and I done brought it all back to the surface, you know.
He purposely tarnished his father's name to make his story sound more gutter, more not famous, because that's worked for him in the past, more trashy. Give the public a reason as to why he is this way, so if I gotta lash out again, blame him. Bruh, you said your dad was a S offender. You said your dad put a gun to your head. You said your dad used to like beat you. Like, you had your dad looking crazy. Like, I just can't imagine. You really sacrificed him like that. And now you're over here like, oh, now I got my own kid and I realize, like, you know.
Certain shit you can't clean up. Yeah. You know, you can't make amends for permanent damage like that. You know, and so my daughter now has become this opportunity for me.
You just lied. Like, all you be doing is lying. So now let's get into the Andrew Tate era. Because the only reason why we even know about this Honey Boy shit is because he, like every other airheaded ass, dried up misogynist, gotta go on somebody's random male podcast to talk about it. So here he goes on some dude podcast. No shade to you, dude. I mean, shit, I want Shia on my shit too. No shade to you. He goes on this dude podcast to start talking cash shit. So he started talking about the woman who groomed and molested him, the one who was played by Twigs. He said that when he lost his V card, I'ma just let him say it.
The woman I lost my virginity to, when I was 19 years old, I held a knife to her neck. In that moment, I heard God's voice say, I'm everywhere. That really happened.
In my opinion, Twigs was in danger from the very jump. She was in danger from the jump. From the jump. And I hope her lawyers are just grabbing all this footage.
And this is what created the insecurity and the jealousy that put hands on this woman. The man that was involved in that relationship was constantly comparing himself to other people. And I was a dishonest person in that I was wearing this mask. You know, I've gotten cold sores my whole life. Got them from my mother. I get 2 cold sores a year when I'm stressed out or I'm sick. I never told any of my sexual partners about getting cold sores. Never. And that's something, when you talk about like, how do you talk to these people who you done fucked over? Like, there's certain shit you can't clean up. Yeah. You know, you can't make amends for permanent damage like that. I used to open doors for women. Yeah, I used to, you know, I was a good dude that way, but it was almost performative. It was almost like, I'll do this good thing so you can think I'm a good dude. But like in my own private life, when the doors were closed, I never told any woman I had cold sores, you know? And so That's deplorable behavior.
On here talking about how you, like, tweeting, saying, like, this man needs help, but he's shown time and time again that he's not going to get it. And another thing, I feel like he's going to use his child as free therapy. Like, he's already starting to show signs of doing that. And he already admitted, like I said earlier, there's always a little slither for him to go through. Insert clip.
Like, I always had an inch left. I always had some fucking wiggle room. Every time I would fuck up, there was always some wiggle. There was always a Brad Pitt on the phone. There was always some, like, you know, Sundance award.
Some next project.
There was always Alma. There was always another. There was always wiggle room to get back into ego. And this time, there wasn't no wiggle room. That's why I attribute this woman with saving my life, because she destroyed any route towards that wiggle.
That's real.
It is real.
Rock fucking bottom.
Rock bottom.
And I feel like his current slither right now is his daughter. Y'all know, if y'all are in the age group that I'm in right now, when you drop a baby, bro, you're the celebrity of the moment, okay? All that you've done wrong can be forgiven, as long as you let me hold that cute little baby that shares my DNA. I know for a fact his daddy is on some like, well, shit, I mean, it was good money, you made your bag, feed my granddaughter, can I come over for Christmas? Like, I know that that's his vibe. So it's like, are you really being held accountable for being a freaking liar and being abusive? Like, and then magically his wife or baby mom, I don't know if they got formally divorced and remarried or what. She's popping right now too. Like, she is like an A-list actress. So it's just really interesting to me. What are you doing, Shia? What are you doing? You're not dad of the year. You lied on your daddy. And they're trying to bury this, bro. They're trying to talk about Olivia Wilde and stuff. No, fuck that. Let's talk about the fact that this man is abusive as hell. And Olivia knew that before casting him. Trifling. Oh, trifling. I never liked her. Is that the girl? Oh, no, that's Keira Knightley. They just look alike. Anyway, is there anything else on Shia? I'm just so shocked that he's really trying to come out here on some Andrew Tate shit, trying to like give lifestyle advice to other men.
I didn't understand masculinity in full. You know, what I know masculinity to be now is stability.
Shia, you're not a lifestyle coach. It was a meme. Let it go. You're a liar. You're abusive. You're an abuser. You are an admitted abuser. This is not allegedly. Like, you admit this yourself. As for Twig stuff, like, yeah, we the public, we're gonna sit back and watch. But, buddy, yeah, mark my words, 2023 is gonna be very interesting. This is gonna be all over the news. Just watch, just watch, just watch. In the meantime, I am about to go to my other channel and write a script on a Honey Boy deep dive. If you guys know my secret channel, I will see you guys soon. Even if you don't, you'll probably see it in the algorithm, and when you do, I want you to come back to this video and be like, oh my god, that's you. Because my other channel is actually not as shadow banned as this one. So, and because of that, please do not put the name of the channel in the comments, because then YouTube is going to know that we're related and they'll probably go over there and shadow ban it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to me rant about Shia Did Not Do It For You LaBeouf. I am wishing, I was going to say I'm wishing him healing, but it's like the whole reason he's in a lawsuit is because he refuses to heal every time. He takes a shortcut every freaking time.
So just to wrap up my thoughts here, because I got a little lost towards the end, let me know what you guys think. This is my opinion. I feel like Shia, the ultimatum that he was given had to do with this lawsuit, because I know he just had a baby. I don't know no woman that would be cool with their name getting slandered in the press for being with Shia. He even said on this podcast, which I really highly advise you guys to go and watch and not just like see my snippets, like go and watch the full podcast to get full context, and support, you know, he did his thing. But, yeah, Shia was talking about how he doesn't appreciate how whenever his girl, his words, whenever my girl do a movie, people always got to bring me up and my reputation tarnishes, because we are in a Me Too era. So he's seeing comments like, oh, I really like her, but she's with an abuser, so no. So, and just hearing that, it's like, it just makes me question the validity, how genuine stuff is. I mean, it's not for me to decide, but I'm just letting you guys know my opinion. I mean, you clicked on my video. I want to believe it's genuine, but I just can't help but feeling like it's a desperate plea for a settlement. I just feel like he wants Twigs to throw the case out, because from day one, she said, I wouldn't even have went public with this if he would have just gotten help, because she was still under the facade of he's Honey Boy, right? And now that he's doing that, it's really interesting that the person that he used to be with comes back out of nowhere giving you an ultimatum, and you're like, oh yeah, like she is just so hard on me. Guys, think about that girl that you went to high school with, or that girl at the office who gave their cheating ass dude a freaking ultimatum. Like, bro, that does, like, that you're not really getting held to much. Like, you've drugged this girl through the mud and back, and she's still here. Like, when he broke down crying, I know some people saw that as like, damn, he really loves her. But I don't know. I've been in an abusive relationship before, and it's like, who are you really crying for? If anything, it was giving like self-pity, like I don't deserve it. And even said multiple times, I don't deserve it. I do feel like people can change, but I don't think people can change in that short a time. Like, you have to look at I think of it like a pie chart. How much of each hemisphere is taking up by good behavior and bad behavior? If you're looking like 1/3 good portion and 2/3 bad, like, you still have some actions to prove. Like, he's only been sober for 1.5 years. He's not a recovery advocate quite yet. He still has some work to do. I personally feel like this is just a plea for old girl to drop the suit. What do you guys think? Do you think that she would drop the suit? Because she said that she was going to sue his ass and donate the money to charities like DV foundations and stuff like that. So it'd be really like, if she does decide to drop the suit, I would hope that she would still donate to those causes regardless, because she's already said she would. But yeah, weird behavior. Just really, really weird. Kudos to this interviewer, though, because they let him talk to the very end. You guys have to go watch that interview. Like, when I tell you this man can talk about himself, he could talk about himself. And whoever is in his corner right now, he's doing a very good job mimicking them, because I'm in a relationship with somebody who used to work at a rehabilitation center for years, and he has that AA lingo down packed. He has that recovery lingo down packed, to talking about God, to like all of it. And if you know, you know, okay? But I digress.
I wish everyone in his life, in his immediate circle, healing and patience, and yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot, man. You got to look at people's actions, not what they be talking about, okay? Look at what people show you, not what they're talking about. Because he was talking that cash shit, and he's a liar. Anyway, that's my opinion. I will see you guys in another video. Peace.
Tell me what you taste, do you like them just for me? Do you like them just for me? I'm hated on my knees. It's so much that I need.